Every few seconds that pass, there is a new need for blood. I personally have donated blood a few times since turning 17. The high school that I attended partnered with Lifeline Blood Services in Jackson, Tennessee to host a blood drive for the students and faculty that wanted to donate blood. I've always loved hearing the patients' lives that would be saved and treatments that could be administered because of my donation. There is no substitute for blood. Blood is only acquired through blood donations. With that being said, patients that are in need of blood have to rely on others to have enough kindness and generosity to donate their own blood. Blood donation is a life-saving act and is a way to help out in your community. Over the next few minutes, I will be speaking about the blood shortage that we are facing as a nation, but how blood donations also help patients have access to the blood that is needed in order for them to survive. Over the next few minutes, I will be speaking on the blood shortage and how your blood donation is extremely important to the patients that are in need. You should donate blood due to the nationwide blood shortage. Ever since the COVID-19 outbreak, there has been a decrease in the amount of donors. COVID-19 caused this decrease. Judy Sue of Health Expectations says the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a reduction of blood donations and limited blood supply in many countries. People are less likely to donate blood nowadays due to the pandemic and also the risk of exposure. There were preventative measures put in place to limit the risk of exposure and to keep the donors healthy, but people are still reluctant to donate their blood. There has been an increased need for the blood for patients. In 2023, we have seen an increase in the demand due to the decrease in the amount of blood donors over the past 3 years. Certain patients require blood transfusions constantly. That causes an increase in the demand for blood. Trauma patients that require surgery also require blood supply in order for their surgery to be successful. Elective surgeries have been postponed to make room for the more emergent ones. If there were more blood donations, elective surgeries would not have to be postponed. In the article written by Gareth Ayasabushi, he says, decisions over which operations to postpone will be taken by individual hospitals, but the NHSBT advised that procedures such as hip replacements could be swapped over for operations such as hernia repairs, gallbladder removal, and eye surgery that do not require blood to be on standby. Due to the lack of donors, hospitals have been forced to make decisions regarding surgery, and they had to make decisions on which patients were able to receive their operations. Now that I have spoken on the problems surrounding blood donations, I will tell you about how your blood can be used after your donation. Blood that has been donated is administered to patients through blood transfusions and can be utilized in a numerous amount of ways. Sickle cell disease is a chronic illness that affects red blood cells in patients. With sickle cell disease, patients' red blood cells are abnormally shaped and do not function properly. This disease requires constant transfusions to help the quality of life, but also to help save their lives. According to the reporters at Obesity, Fitness, and Wellness Week, they say safe, timely blood cell transfusions save lives, and chronic transfusion therapy prevents or limits morbidities such as stroke, therefore improving the quality of life for patients with sickle cell disease. Blood transfusions also work as a preventative measure. Your donation can help people with sickle cell disease have a better life. Cancer patients also require blood transfusions. Andrew Berthoud is a young boy that was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. This type of cancer affects the white blood cells in the blood, and white blood cells help fight off infection. Andrew requires constant blood transfusions to put healthy white blood cells into his blood to be able to fight off any infections. More white blood cells that are received as treatment because of the chemotherapy will fight off all the good and bad blood cells. Daily Mail conducted an interview with Andrew's mother, Melody. Melody says that blood saved Andrew's life. Without the donations that Andrew received, he wouldn't have survived his treatments. By donating your blood, you have a chance to save lives as well. Now I will be showing a video of a young girl with cancer who received blood transfusions throughout her treatment.
Has to get blood every single day. It means the world. My daughter wouldn't be here without your blood. We heard the news no parent wants to hear. Our kid has cancer, and they sent us right to Mercy. She went through 3 surgeries in 36 hours. It was CCSK, which is clear cell sarcoma of the kidney, which is really rare, stage 3, and we went right into radiation and chemo. We do 3 days of chemo, then a shot, rest for that weekend, and then we come in for the next 2 weeks for maintenance to recover so they can be able to take chemo again. If their counts are down, they are unable to take treatments. And what brings her back is when she gets up blood, she gets color back in her cheeks, and she gets this energy. I love seeing my kid be a kid. Today happens to be her last day of chemo, and we get to find out in a few weeks if her scan's coming clean.
Without the blood donations that she received, she would not have survived treatment, just like Andrew. Your blood donation could help save lives. I've mentioned 2 conditions which require constant blood transfusions, and I've also spoken about the nationwide blood shortage. Your blood donation increases the amount of blood entering the blood banks and helps people have access to the blood that is needed. Lifeline Blood Services in Jackson, Tennessee say every donation helps save 3 lives. There is not only a need for blood donors, but also there is a need for people to advocate for blood donation. Having people advocating for blood donation will ultimately help the blood shortage crisis. People that are unable to donate blood can serve as an advocate. Lifeline Blood Services recently lost their biggest advocate, Ms. Sherry Parker. She served as the Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator at Lifeline Blood Services. According to John Miller, the CEO and president at Lifeline, he says she became the face of Lifeline Blood Services and promoting blood donation all throughout West Tennessee. Ms. Sherry Parker worked so diligently to help promote blood donation and bring people in to donate their blood. We should be thankful for the work that Ms. Sherry Parker has done throughout her time at Lifeline. It is evident with all the statistics, research, and testimonies that our nation is closing in on what appears to be a very crucial moment when it comes to blood donations. There is an urgency to campaign for the increase in the amount of donors in order for hospitals and clinics to continue to treat people who desperately need these transfusions. Countless lives have been saved by people not only seeing the need but being active and taking part in filling the need. I've heard it said before, in life there will be opportunities, but they must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. This has never been echoed so true across our nation as it does today. It is truly the opportunity of a lifetime to help save a life, so please be aware, intentional, and active in help saving a life by donating your blood. And lastly, please be a part in carrying on the legacy of Ms. Sherry Parker and her desire to see lives saved through blood donations for those that are in need.